Hello and welcome back to Portal 2. My name is Zaid, and today's chamber is unique in the fact that it started as a competitive co-op puzzle chamber. Basically, originally two people would have tried to speed through these puzzles as fast as possible. The first one to the end would have won. But due to some problems I had, some constraints that I ran into, I eventually decided to scrap that idea and then use the same elements to make a single-player puzzle. Let's get into that. So here we are in Conceptual, which isn't the greatest name in the world. It's kind of bland, but we can occasionally do that. Occasionally have a boring name. It was indeed a concept, but most of my maps are based on a concept, so not a very good way of describing any of my maps. So, as we can see here, there is a secondary room. Now what I'm doing in this secondary room is actually showing the player the solution. In this first room at any rate. In other rooms I'll give hints and do other different things, but in this first room I'm pretty much giving it away. It's a puzzle I've used before, so anyone who's played through my chambers knows it's from Disconnect, and they already know how to do it. If the cube will not bounce like that. So we just adjust, and hope it works this time. Yeah, these cubes seem much more bouncy than they did in Disconnect. I don't know exactly what I did to make that different in Disconnect, but you know. Things lost to time. Now in this room, the hint you're given is that this will kill cubes when it's up, and if we watch, there's a bit of a delay before it kills that cube, meaning it's not going to kill the cube when it's down. Now, this doesn't always operate on the right time frame, so doesn't always give you that same amount of information every single time you look over here, but if you watch long enough, you'll eventually figure out that this is death, that is not. So what you need to do is press this button, place this cube down there, and it's going to complete a circuit off screen which will keep this door open. That's the only way to keep a door open without constant input. And so, I think it's actually doing it with a cube because it's just dropping the cube and the button doesn't destroy the cube, it just opens the door. But anyway, let's do that. Oh. Well, you have to do it for a certain period of time, otherwise it won't work. But it's not that long of a period of time. There we go. That time I went through. So now we're on to part 3 of this chamber. Now in this one, the mirror, the alternate world, whatever you want to call it over here, shows us turrets on specific platforms. Now turrets are often associated with damage or death, so hopefully I'm conveying to the player here that this one, that one are all going to kill you if you step on them. So like the one above, they're actually set in a state where they're going to kill you, but the rest won't. Now, the way this is done in the editor is I believe these started lower and got moved back, and I think these were pushed into their position from a higher position, which is why they're all too long. Because when it's pushed to its full length, this isn't a death, there's no death volume, kill volume. But when this is pulled back from its full length, there's a kill volume. I don't know why this is a thing. I really couldn't explain it, but it's an interesting thing that I used to my advantage in this instance. So to prove that, I could drop this cube on this one, and it's going to dissolve. I could do the same with that one, if we wanted to test it out. But I assure you that's how this chamber works. But I'm going to quick save before attempting to get across this room, because even though these jumps are only one wide gaps, I sometimes tend to miss them. Okay. Now... yeah, that's the thing. Okay, well, we'll get over there first. Okay. So there's a portable surface here, and that is where the receiver is, so... pretty straightforward little laser puzzle here. Let's put it here. And then... oh. This is probably the most difficult part, is actually getting it to work around the corner like this. Okay. Now we can't jump that way, as there is a turret on that platform. So... let's hope I can do this. Jump. Okay, there we go. And one more quick save before I end up absolutely ruining this. That, and then that. Okay, made it. So yeah, I thought this was a pretty ingenious use of that little thing that I found out. And now on to basically the same puzzle from Disconnect. In fact, it is pretty much. The only thing that this puzzle doesn't do that Disconnect did is it doesn't have the stacked cubes. This puzzle still has the portal up there, but it doesn't have the stacking cubes, which is kind of important. It just makes this one different. So the Z on this one isn't angled, it is rather straight on. But not too much different other than that. And there it goes. So yep, we have another signature by me. And then we don't have any more cubes. This is purely here as a piece of misdirection. And then we can just go up here. Grab this cube. Redirect it, and then leave the chamber. So we have this nice Z. But yeah, that is Conceptual. You'll notice this room does not have a window on this side here, and it also closed up when we entered. Because what's happening is you have to have the laser puzzle finished in the previous room for this to open, and then it recloses when the laser puzzle gets destroyed by going through the fizzler. I think. I could get that wrong. It's been a while. But yeah, I didn't have any window in this one because if this would have ever been co-op, this would have been the puzzle where you have to do it all yourself. So the other ones before, you could kind of look at your friend doing it, but this last one would have not had that as an option. So anyway, I don't know why that happened. This has been Conceptual. I've been Zaid, and that's it for me today. Bye now.